Hey everybody, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Nia Iman. And in today's video, we're gonna be doing a beginner-friendly brow tutorial. So I'm gonna show you how to slay your brows, quick, easy. So let's get right into it. So for my everyday brow look, there's only about 6 products that I use. So first, we got our concealer. This is Lip & Snatch by NYX. This is a brow tint pen in the color Espresso. Then we got our handy dandy eyebrow pencil. I've had this for a really long time, so I don't know what the brand is, but this is the color dark brown. And then we're gonna need a spoolie. You're gonna need a small eyebrow brush, looks like this. And lastly, I think this is a flat foundation brush, but I use this to blend out my concealer underneath and up top. And every product mentioned in this video will be linked in the description. The very first step and the most important is you want to clean up your natural brow. So what I mean by that is whether you prefer to have it waxed, threaded, I'll even grab a razor and clean it up myself. Whatever you prefer, we really want to clean up the perimeter of our brow. So typically if I'm doing a full face, first thing I like to do is, after I put my primer on, I will put a little setting powder on one of these and just go over my brow, just a little bit. You don't need much. This is so like the brow area isn't wet, and that way when we go in with our products, it'll go on the right way, like more pigmented or whatever. So our next step is going to be, I'm going to take the NYX Lip & Snatch brow tint pen, and usually I'm doing my brows typically at the same time, but for the sake of this video I wanted to have one done already. But typically I will kind of outline them at the same time so I can get them as even as possible. But we all know that brows are more like sisters, not twins. So it's impossible to get them completely even, but we can try to get as close as possible. And so what we're gonna do is we are going to outline the bottom of the brow with this tint pen. So, like so. We're gonna draw an outline underneath. We're following that natural brow shape. And don't worry about it being kind of messy at first, because we're gonna go behind it with the concealer. And we're gonna do the same for the top of the brow. And we're trying to match this side of the brow as close as possible. And it's going to be very important that you define the tail. Like I said, don't worry about it. The outline looking a little crazy, because we're gonna go behind it with concealer. So next I'm gonna fill it in. Like I said, this is a dark brown. I've tried black, but it is way too harsh on me. I think it'll be harsh on anybody. So, dark brown. The thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna go behind it with our spoolie, especially at the front of the brow, because we want the front of the brow to be lighter than the end of the brow, because I guess that mimics like a more natural brow look. So yeah, we're just kind of going behind it. So next part is concealer. So we're just gonna take a little bit and go underneath the brow. Just want to put a bit on the under the brow so we can outline it. So what I'll do is I'll put it on the bottom first and wait before I put it on the top, because we don't want the concealer to dry out, because it makes it harder to blend. So we're just following that natural shape that's already there. Next, I'm taking my flat foundation brush and just gently brushing or blending out along the bottom near the front of the brow, near the end. Just cleaning it up, blending it out. So yeah, blend, 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 blend. And then next, we can kind of just go along the top with the concealer. You can also just use this. This may be easier to use. You can apply the concealer onto this first, and then just kind of, again, we're just tracing our natural brow, and then it's gonna be very, very important that we blend this out really good up top, especially. Ooh, she's cute. We're just really cleaning that up. Sometimes I'll even go in with this is my foundation brush. This is what I use to apply foundation. Sometimes I'll even kind of go around it with that, so it kind of brings that natural color back a little bit. And down the middle to kind of get that. Now your spacing for your brows is personal preference. I find that I look crazy if my eyebrows are drawn super close together. So I just pretty much almost the width of this brush, I'll just kind of, to create that kind of distance between. After I'm done doing my brows, I'll just go in again, kind of do a light brush in the front again, kind of get all the hairs in the same direction. So one tip I would give is, if you're trying to get better at makeup or eyebrows, practice every day. Even if you don't do a full face every day, do your brows every day. That's how I got better at it, is by doing it every day. And brows, like, brows are super important. Like, they frame your face. So even if you just practice brows daily, you will get better. You just have to practice.
Brows are done. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.